What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everybody is having a good night. I'm sure most people out there are watching the Super Bowl right now, so I don't know how many people are going to be showing up to Plumecast Ranks. I believe the game is the third quarter, fourth quarter right now. It's winding down. It's a close game. I'm sure everybody out there is watching. How's everyone doing tonight? You care about the Super Bowl? Who are you cheering for? Let me know all those. Let me know all that stuff in the comments below. What's up, James, Adam, Rachie, Demendra, however you say it. Welcome, 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 welcome. Running a little bit late today, starting the stream at 9:30 instead of 9. Just gonna hang out, just talk games, as we usually do on this stream. Nothing too formalized or crazy or planned out. That's more my daily videos, which I do have one tomorrow, of course. But we'll just hang out and we will talk. We will talk video games, sports, whatever you guys want to talk about. Fix Taylor's team is going to win. Yeah. Uh, we'll see. We'll see here. So, of course, the thing that everybody wants to talk about is what's going on at Xbox, right? What's going on at Xbox? What's going on at Xbox? It's been an absolutely insane week. Insane week. In terms of the rumors, in terms of people speculating. I tweeted out, I think maybe it was Tuesday. I tweeted it out. I want to say Tuesday. And I tweeted, the longer Xbox doesn't talk, the stupider and stupider the rumors are going to get. And that is absolutely exactly what happened here throughout the entire week. The rumors kept running wild. People kept coming up with new things that potentially Xbox was going to do. And then we get to the end of the week and we see a lot of people walking back their rumors. So we don't know what to believe whatsoever. But one thing I can say is I think a lot of people learned a lesson this week, including myself, as to how this stuff kind of goes. I know for me personally, although I make daily videos, I'm in the same boat as everybody else out there who is looking at this stuff and then trying to determine what is true, what is not, who's making stuff up, what do we take of these rumors, which is why whenever I do my videos, I always make sure to talk about how they're just rumors and they could completely be wrong. So take them with a grain of salt, but this is kind of what is going on. So everyone kind of can understand what's going on, but to not take it seriously because we have no idea what's going to happen this week whatsoever. And we don't know when Xbox is going to talk. We don't even know what game. We don't even know if Starfield's even a thing anymore, as that's been walked back by the people that broke it. We really have no idea what is going on in the world of Xbox. The only people that actually know what is going on is Xbox themselves and the people high up at Xbox, I want to say, right? Those are the people that know what's going on. One thing about it, when you think about Xbox as an organization, it's a massive organization. Microsoft is so big that people working at Microsoft, a lot of them probably don't know 100% what is happening. There's probably a lot of different stories going on within the organization itself. So if they don't 100% know what's going on, how can we know what is going on? And we obviously do not. But how's everybody doing tonight? Well, we'll jump more into this. I'll read through some of the tweets. I'll read through some of the backtracks and stuff like that, as a lot of people are scrambling right now, realizing that it is now next week. It is now next week, and Xbox is going to talk. And I think there's going to be some stuff that's right and some stuff that is wrong. We will have no idea. People are expecting the meltdown. But I mean, here, let me get some music here in the background for myself. I'm not going to put it on the stream because last time I put music on the stream, instantly got struck by YouTube as whatever. So, but just so I can get in the zone here, let me get some music for myself. Some But yeah, everyone in chat, hit the like button. Welcome. If you are new, I've been streaming now. Ooh, this is what, my fourth week on Sundays. I usually go live at 9 p.m. and I just talk about what's been going on in the week, and we just hang out. We talk about games. I know today is a lot of people aren't doing their shows or whatever because it's Super Bowl, so I don't expect a massive crowd today. But I thank you all for deciding to watch me talk on a mic for about an hour and a half instead of watching the Super Bowl. Or probably watching the Super Bowl at the same time, but still the fact that you clicked on this video while the Super Bowl's on, very impressive with that. I was expecting nobody to be in here today with probably the most popular Sunday of the entire year happening. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. And like I said, I learned a lot. I think a lot of people out there learned a lot as well. Just not to I think one of the things that's so hard to do in today's day and age is to not overreact or to not react at all. Because the thing that I think differentiated last week with the whole, well, I guess Sunday's the first day of the week technically, right? The thing that differentiated this entire week of Xbox more so than any other time we've heard rumors was the amount of people reporting it and the amount of larger accounts reporting it and the amount of people that overall you would consider to be reliable reporting this news. So when you see that coming out and you see everybody putting in their articles at the same time, it's really hard. It's really hard not to overreact to it. So I totally get people at the beginning of the week. Like I would say by like end of day Tuesday, all of the overreaction and outrage should have probably been out of your system. At least in my opinion, it was at that point. But I could totally understand people reacting to these rumors right away and jumping to these doom and gloom scenarios, mainly because of how it was being reported and who was reporting it. So I totally get that. But then as we got through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even today still, it was just getting stupider and stupider, and people were really trying to just cash in as much as possible on the doom and gloom and the scenario of people scared and their fear of what's going to happen going forward with Xbox, which I don't fully get the whole fear thing. My thing when it comes to my biggest concern about this entire situation, which now when I sit back and think about it, I don't even think makes any sense whatsoever. When you look at the strategy of Xbox and what they're doing, my biggest fear was the end of the Xbox console, which reality, sit back, guys, sit back. It really makes no sense why they would cut the Xbox console, even if they were to put more games onto PlayStation. I kind of talk about it in tomorrow's video, but you sit back logically. There's at least 50 million people in that access point to their ecosystem. It's still a lot of people. It's not 100 million, of course, not 110 million. But it's still a lot of people. There's no way that they're just going to cut off that many people out of nowhere and then make your digital catalog unavailable. It just really doesn't make any sense. And we were already hearing about them going forward and making more hardware going into the next generation. So I don't even think that's something to worry about anymore. No matter what they announced this week, I don't think it's even something to be really up in arms about. Like, you're gonna have an Xbox console, next generation, more likely than not, and you're still going to be able to access. And in fact, they're probably going to improve on the ways and the variety of ways that you're actually going to be able to access your content overall. As I've said on my stream, I don't care where people play their games. I couldn't care less if they play it on PlayStation or Nintendo. To me, it's literally just about the whole Hi-Fi Rush thing. I was against that initially because I felt like they had lied to their customers. But because of the way I thought they were going to be releasing Hi-Fi Rush onto PlayStation and Nintendo was literally just putting it out there, and Tango Gameworks was going to come out with like a big announcement and have a trailer and say now available on PlayStation and Nintendo, which would have been a big no-no because of what they had said at the Bethesda Roundtable. But if they come out with a business update and they update their strategy, there's really can't really go back and say, oh, well, they're still lying about this stuff. No, they changed their strategy. And at that point, as a customer, you decide what you want to do. Do you want to stay in the ecosystem? Do you want to leave the ecosystem? Do you want to go buy a PS5? Like, that's absolutely up to each customer to make the decision after you gotten an update on what they are going to be doing going forward. My prediction for what they are going to talk about, this is my prediction. I said it in video earlier in the week. I'm not going to change what I think. what my prediction is, what they're going to do is they're going to come out and they're going to talk about Bethesda and ABK mainly, and how certain of those games, like more of those games specifically, are going to be being multi-platform. Probably the entire ABK catalog, I would guess, is going to be multi-platform, and we'll still get some of them into Game Pass. But I think for the reason why they're having a business update is because I think more Bethesda games are going to be multi-platform going forward. And that's why they have to update their strategy for their customers, where they had previously said their new IPs and stuff are going to be exclusive to wherever Xbox Game Pass is. So that's kind of why I think they're having this business update more so than anything. I will be shocked. I will be shocked if like it's like a Gears or a Halo or any of their tentpole franchises. Forza, like if those were to go over to PlayStation, I will be shocked if that's the announcement. But I don't think that'll be. I really think it's going to be all about Bethesda and ABK. And when you make these acquisitions, you got to think about they have 50 plus. What I don't know, they have so many studios now. When you make these acquisitions, it is extremely, extremely complex on how you go about integrating all these studios and distributing all these games and working with all of these developers, and it's pretty crazy. And I'm sure there's pushback from like, I'm thinking about this from the Hi-Fi Rush perspective. Tango Gameworks is based in Japan. Their core audience, a lot of them are in Japan. And if you're Tango, you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, man, we want to kind of sell this IP more. We want to get this game out more. And there is like no Xbox. There are Xboxes in Japan, of course, but comparatively to the Switch or the PlayStation, I don't know how many Game Pass subscribers they have in Japan, but I'm sure it's not like through the roof. But if you're Tango Gameworks, you've created an absolutely incredible game, a brand new IP that I think is going to be here to stay for a long time. We'll see sequels, and it's going to be characters they can grow and expand out some more things, maybe like a show. I don't know, who knows, right? Because that's the way a lot of people are going with these things. Like you look at PlayStation, how they've expanded stuff out to shows. Maybe they make an anime out of Hi-Fi Rush. I think they could absolutely do that. You're going to have to get people in the region where you make the game interested in the IP. So I can see from their perspective them pushing maybe back against Xbox here and kind of like, hey, we kind of want to get more people to play this game. We want to get it out in the region that we work. How can we do that if nobody is buying an Xbox in Japan, right? Another theory I had about this whole strategy too is just in general in those regions where Xbox doesn't sell. They just don't. Like it's extremely, like Phil Spencer overall, I think has done a great job of expanding out in those regions like Japan and other parts of Asia, or at least trying. I mean, it's like I said, it's probably extremely complex. Like I don't know the whole in and outs on it, but I don't believe at this point in time, even if Xbox were to put out 10 banger exclusives, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, I don't actually believe that's going to move Xboxes that much in places like Japan. But maybe Xbox is thinking in terms of more of a multi-platform strategy is if we can't get them through the Xbox console or through the Xbox ecosystem in these regions, we have to put the game where the users are. And then maybe that will entice them to check out more of Xbox. And I think that's definitely something that could happen for sure. Anime compilations, brand recognition, and third-party support are my main issues. Yeah, I mean, so when it comes to brand recognition, one of the most absurd rumors I saw going around, and I mean, again, this is my opinion, and I may look like an idiot after saying this, but one of the most absurd rumors we saw was Microsoft Game Pass or Microsoft Studios or Microsoft Game Studios and stuff, and them getting rid of Xbox. I think that's a gross overreaction to these rumors. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. Xbox has built up their brand in the last 20 plus years or however long it's been whenever they released the OG Xbox. And yeah, I get it on social media and like you see the outrage from the fanboys and stuff and see like people just super angry about everything. They think this is a deterioration of the Xbox brand. The reality of the situation is Xbox as a brand is still a very strong brand. Is it as strong as PlayStation? No. Is it as strong as Nintendo? No. But I was watching what's his name? Shane Gillis? Who's the comedian dude who had his Netflix special? His name Shane. Is that his name? I forget his name. Yeah, Shane Gillis. I was watching his Netflix special the other day, and this is just a small example as to how the Xbox has great brand recognition. He was making a joke, and in his joke, he mentioned he was playing on his Xbox. Now, was he actually playing on his Xbox? Who knows? It's a comedic joke, but he could have said PlayStation. He could have said his Nintendo, right? But just that alone, there's a high degree of brand recognition in the name Xbox. It would be absurd to just cut the brand Xbox and go with Microsoft Game Pass. And we saw that pop me up because of a typo from a Game Pass or a GameStop ad, right? And people were running with this. They were taking screenshots of the Xbox website from games where they got rid of some sort of, I think they got rid of day one of Game Pass or something on certain games. And maybe that's something that's going to happen, but I would be surprised for especially games they've already announced if they just say, okay, these games are not coming day one of Game Pass. But then quickly that was debunked because these changes were made to the website way before any of these rumors came out. And it makes complete sense that after a game has released to remove the messaging of coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. The game's out. That would just kind of confuse people thinking that the game was not out. So no, I don't see Xbox as a brand or anything going away. I can see potentially it being deteriorated a little bit, but at the same time, you got to look at the other side of the coin here. If Xbox games go to more people, even if they are on PlayStation, to people that may not know that Xbox makes games, wouldn't at the same time that also increase the brand recognition of Xbox when they load up a game on their PlayStation or Nintendo and see Xbox on it? If they market them, I would hope that they would market Xbox, but wouldn't that increase brand recognition if they were to slap their Xbox Game Studios logo all over it? I think it would get more people knowing about it. The one thing too that Xbox is really poorly is marketing. I mean, even today in my life, when people have the amount of people that don't know what Xbox Game Pass is or the value of Xbox Game Pass is actually insane. It's actually insane that people still don't know the value of Game Pass, and when it's been just getting better and better every single year. Microsoft, Xbox is always an American console. Also, the Microsoft Game Pass. Yeah, of course, it's always been an American console. It's always where its main consumer base is. Xbox has been trying to grow globally and grow in Japan forever. They did a decent job of the 360, but they still only sold like 1.3 million 360s, right? It's still minuscule compared to other platforms out there. So they've been trying to grow forever in Japan. They just have not been able to. But what we're seeing now is let's sit back and think about this. Just a hypothetical, okay? If Xbox did not have Game Pass, I need some plume stuff on those walls. What do you mean by that? Like my logo and stuff? I have enough plume branding, plume network. Although none of this stuff is actually available to buy. At least, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get into that, but let's sit back and think about a hypothetical, because people always are saying you can't have it really both ways, right? We've criticized Xbox about not getting games on their platforms, not getting Final Fantasies, not getting Personas, not expanding more into the Japanese region and bringing more of those titles over, and those publishers skipping Xbox. We've complained about that. What has happened this generation, right? Xbox has expanded out their ecosystem. More people are playing in it. They have tons of monthly active users and stuff. And what we have seen here is now we're getting those games. We're getting the Personas. Did anybody ever think Final Fantasy 14 would ever make its way out on to an Xbox console? I never thought it was. I thought there was no chance in hell that would ever happen, and here we are. It's out on Xbox. People think Persona was ever going to come. Not only is Persona on Xbox now, it's day one into Game Pass, which is an insane thing. Now, I know people love, there's console warriors and stuff, and if you console war, good for you, more power to you. If you enjoy doing that, I don't care. But if Xbox would not have expanded out their ecosystem, put their games in more places, because the reality of the situation is people love talking about multi-platform. PlayStation and Xbox are multi-platform publishers as we see it right now. They just are. They both put their games on multiple platforms, PC, Xbox, right? And even Nintendo and Xbox themselves, because MLB The Show, right? Both of them are multi-platform publishers. One more than the other. One may become even more than the other next week when they do their announcement. But they're both multi-platform publishers because they both know they have to put their games more places to continue to grow and survive and thrive in the gaming industry. The days of locking games to a console is over. But let's hypothetically say if Xbox came out and this generation continued with the strategy of locking games to a console, I can guarantee you Xbox would be in a far worse position today, right now, far closer to actually going out of business than if they didn't do what they are currently doing. That's like, I could almost guarantee you that. So as much as we like to bitch and complain about some of this stuff, the reality of the situation is they're going to do most likely, like they're going to do what they think is the best to grow Xbox, to grow the brand, not to destroy the brand, not to get rid of the Xbox consoles. When you think about it logically, it just doesn't make sense. A lot of the outrage and stuff was because the rumors are not complete. We don't know we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen. And if your only identity with Xbox is making sure that all the games are on the console, nobody else gets to play those games, then you're probably going to be disappointed, and you probably should think about going to a different platform. If that's your only identity? But hey, let's say you only play on Xbox. I have everything. I play on everything, and I say this in my channel a lot because a lot of people I've seen this going around, and I actually believe it's true. And I've seen this narrative going around, but a lot of content creators out here who talk Xbox, they play on PC, right? I've seen that discussion on Twitter, and I kind of agree with it. That's not me. I play on Xbox. I play on the console. That's my main place. That's like at least 80 to 90% of literally where I play. And I've expanded out a little bit now with the Asus ROG Ally. Like I play on that, and I barely play on my PC, and then I play on my Nintendo Switch, and I play like nothing on my PS5. I may play a bit more this year, but like the last year was like nothing. But the majority of my gaming takes place on my Xbox console. And if they are expanding out to bring more content to my Xbox, to the Xbox ecosystem, no matter what, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But if you aren't cool with that, and you only want people locked away, and you don't want anyone else playing on the console, Xbox may not be the spot for you right now. But the reality of the situation is PlayStation's going to do the same thing. Nintendo, I don't even want to comment on them because they have such a different business with like their attachment rate of their first party games. It's like through the roof, and the cost to create their games, I mean, you just can look at them. Although I think they're some of the best games in the industry, probably significantly less than a PlayStation first party game or an Xbox first party game. So they have a completely different business model. But when it comes to PlayStation, look what just happened this week with Helldivers 2. You don't think PlayStation's looking at that and saying, damn, we have to put our games on PC day and date more often because we'll get way more sales, we'll get way more concurrent viewers. It's coming from all angles here. Like PlayStation's going to be doing the same thing at some point. And I've been saying this for years. And when it does happen, you're going to have a lot of people saying like, oh, the most annoying thing about content creators, I don't know if I'm guilty of this. I don't really think I am I don't think I am guilty of it. I maybe once or twice. I don't want to talk in absolutes because that's where you kind of get burnt. But I don't think I'm guilty of it. But like when something happens that is just like, you just follow the market trends, you're looking at what's going on, you're making just a normal common sense assumption and guess of what potentially could happen in the future. And then it happens. content creators that try to shove it down your throat that like they're correct. Look how smart I am. I got it right. It's so annoying. It's like you're not a genius. You're just following basic market trends. Whatever they say tomorrow won't change my mind. PC is a safe bet. I don't know if it's tomorrow. We have no idea if it is tomorrow. That's another thing that's going on. When did Xbox say that they are talking tomorrow? They didn't. They just said next week. So it could literally be next Friday. It could be Friday, this upcoming Friday. I think it'll be Tuesday, but maybe it's tomorrow as well. I don't know. But they never said Monday. If the majority of Game Pass subscribers are Xbox gamers, there's no reason to get rid of the console right now. That's right it there, Vinci. Like that's it would just make no sense to get rid of the console. It would make no sense, but I can totally understand the fear that some people had right away when these rumors came out because it's an emotional reaction. It's an emotional reaction, but like if the emotions didn't die down after like like I said, for me the deadline was like I started cleansing my timeline from people. I started cleansing it on Tuesday night. Because if you were still going nuts about this on Tuesday night, I had to start cleansing. I couldn't take it anymore. I started cleansing my X timeline. It was just like it's video games. Like, come on. Let's move on. Let's wait until what Xbox has to say. We know these rumors aren't 100% true. Let's just wait. It's cool to talk about it and speculate it. I'm all for that. But some of the reactions out there were just insane. And if they come out on whatever they do next week and they say they're putting all their games onto PlayStation, but keeping them day one Game Pass or something, the reaction is going to be just insane. Just insane. A lot of them are just throwing poop at the wall and hoping something. Exactly. If you throw 100 pieces of poop at the wall, one of them's going to stick. If one of those poops don't stick to the wall, there's something wrong. You probably should go see a doctor because there's probably something wrong with your poop. Got to get some change up that diet. Get one of those poops to stick. Use Ultimate and I avoid a Game Pass PC because Xbox app on Windows is trash. Yes, Raichi. What I hope Xbox is working on, and they've made updates, but I hope they're working on always improving the Xbox PC app, which would be insane if they're not. And I hope they really release a handheld operating system like that they already have. I mean, they already have the Xbox OS, Xbox operating system, and just throw it on to the likes of like an ROG Ally or throw it onto their own handheld. Because that's what's holding back these handhelds right now is having just native Windows. Even no matter how many of those skins they have, like the Armory Crate on the ROG Ally, it doesn't solve it. That's what's holding it back the most. So that's why I'm thinking a hybrid Xbox next generation handheld docked to your TV. I think that thing is going to be do very well. I think it really, really will. People will buy that. People will buy that even if they are on PC as their main. People will buy that even if they are on PlayStation as their main. That's what I think they're thinking too, right? Like they are trying to turn this into a secondary console because like how many people own a Nintendo Switch as their secondary too, right? As like it's just as a have on the side because they could take it with them on the go. I'm not saying that Xbox should try to turn themselves into that, but they should definitely capitalize on that market because you think about it right now. There are so many PlayStation dudes that I've talked to, even in my own personal life, that want to play Xbox games, but just don't want to buy an Xbox console. They just want to have the one box. But if you were to differentiate the box through a hardware perspective and just give them something like the Nintendo Switch, I feel like most of them would go out and buy that Xbox, especially because they can take it on the go. But welcome everyone. We have, what do we have in here? 114 of you in here, 122 of you in here. Everyone hit the like button, I appreciate you guys stop coming out tonight because obviously Super Bowl Sunday. I'm sure everyone is out there watching the Super Bowl. So I wasn't expecting a large crowd, but you guys definitely turned up here. So, um, walkbacks. There were a lot of walkbacks this week. A lot of walkbacks. The whole Starfield thing has been essentially walked back. Now, do I believe that? No. Just like I don't believe the rumors about it going to Xbox or going to PlayStation. I don't even believe the walkbacks at this point. My theory as to what happened was somebody. I have two theories as to what happened. First theory, disgruntled employee doesn't like the direction, giving out bad information, cause a shitstorm. Second theory, controlled leak so that Microsoft and Xbox can find leakers within their organization. That's my theory, because everybody seems to have bad information with this whole thing. So how can everyone have bad information? Right? How did everyone report this bad? Like, there was a report about people were talking about years. Like, people were just throwing games out. See, this is the thing. This is the other thing about throwing the poop at the wall. How many people this week threw out tons of games? You know why they all throw out tons of games? It's because they know that if the more games they throw out as a leaker or someone who spreads these rumors, the higher chance that they're going to be right this week. So that they can say, hey, look, I am credible because one of the 10 games that I threw at the wall is on this list, which is that's the annoying part. I mean, yeah, it was a crazy week. I don't know if it's a turnaround. I don't think there was ever a direction. You know what I mean? I don't think there was ever a direction with this news. I think it was just a bunch of people read these rumors and overreacted. And you know what? I'm not even innocent here. I initially overreacted with these rumors, with the whole the console's going to go away and our digital library is going to be taken from us. Like, that's what I was going through my head. I guilty on that one. I definitely overreacted on that, but logically it just doesn't make any sense. But it was because I've never seen, I think overall I'm pretty good at like not overreacting to rumors, but I had never seen a storm this big around Xbox. It was huge. And there's probably a lot to this. It will be super cool if in like 10 years there's like a documentary on this week. I think that would be awesome to make. If we can get all the facts about what truly happened, who leaked it, why it was leaked, like all of that type of stuff, that would be such a cool documentary. That'd be such a cool documentary. Option 3, they had a control leak, but worse than the changes occurring. So then when the true announcement comes out, it doesn't seem as bad. Yeah, that's another thing that could have occurred. Maybe they were just putting out something worse than what's actually going to happen. So people are like, okay, this is fine. We're okay with it. We're okay with it. But like, never would have expected his channel to see all this growth for his channel. Also, the PS3 rumors for Gears of War were fake. You never expected my channel to grow, huh? Well, no, my channel grows steadily. My channel grows. The thing I love about my channel the most is it's like a consistent amount of people that watch it. I see all the names. It's like a, and you guys watch my daily videos. It's like a thing I've been told so many times that it's like you listen to it when you drink your coffee or something. It's part of your morning routine, and that's what I wanted to grow with this channel, was not just like put out a video that blows up and then that's it, and people just want the next sensationalized thing to watch. I wanted something that community that actually, like, the community that has consistency with watching the channel and consistency with like commenting and stuff. And my channel grows. It grows slowly, but I love the community here. It's awesome. Even if it takes 10 years to get to 100K subs and get that play button that everybody always wants to get. I think it's 100K. Is it 100K? Is it 50K? I don't even know. But yeah. But I appreciate all the support, guys. Appreciate it. Plume, I think Xbox purposely leaked it so they could see the people's reactions. It's great marketing, though. It shook the whole internet. This is great marketing. Yeah, I could be, man. It could be purposely. Honestly, I haven't. That's one of my theories on this thing is that maybe Control Leak. Maybe there's so many leakers within the organization they're trying to find them as well. So you put out a control leak and you can kind of break down who is leaking stuff and who isn't. That could be something that happens. That could be it. Anonymous boss. You never know. But again, I have a feeling that it's going to be like a mix of like some of it's true, some of it isn't. I don't think it'll be nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. I think in the reality of the situation is like Xbox has done so much this generation to improve where I don't know who, I'm sure most of you already heard this, but just imagine where Xbox would be today, right now, if they just stayed as the same strategy as they had during the first half of the Xbox One generation. Xbox would be in a terrible position. They wouldn't be having Persona on the console. They wouldn't be having Final Fantasy on the console. They wouldn't be growing in ways in terms of their users. Like, it would not be in a good position. So they've made changes. They've done very well in making those changes. We have the best value in gaming on Game Pass. Best value in gaming is still Xbox right now, unless they come out this week and just destroy Game Pass as we know it, which I'm doubtful of that. But like, these changes they've made have been for the positive. Now I see the narrative of, okay, so they've done all these things and now they're just going to give up. Now I don't think that's happening. I don't think they're giving up. I think maybe they're looking at the market and adjusting slightly to make sure that going forward, the Xbox continues to grow and be successful and then brings more games over to the platform. Hey, Mr. Waffles, I appreciate that. I haven't played Helldivers 2 yet. It looks really cool. I will eventually jump into it. Man, I got a lot of heat in that video where I talked about people's Steam reviews about what they did not like about it, and then compared the way that Helldivers 2 was treated via the media versus Suicide Squad. Now, I get they're different games, but they both have games as a service elements to it. They both didn't have early review codes sent out, and they both had bugs and stuff at the beginning, at the launch of the games. And the way that both games were handled in the media, what to me was, it means that there's no real set standard on how every single game is looked at and reviewed. But I got a lot of heat on that video. A lot of people think were angry at me for bringing that up. Not like I literally just talked about the day before how successful the game is in terms of putting it onto PC and the amount of people playing it, and I'm going to be talking about it again tomorrow. One thing about putting out daily news videos is if you get someone who comes into your channel and watches just that daily news video and then say you didn't talk about something, they don't realize that you probably did talk about it. You just talked about it on a different day. Legend 350, my honest prediction I made with my YouTube audience is things will be a mix of good and bad. My concern is when a few games get ported, what's stopping the rest from being ported now? I mean, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing that will come out of this if they do port games is the question going forward every time Xbox announces a first-party game. You're going to have the community of people questioning, is this game coming to PlayStation? But I'm going to tell you this right now. This is what I think. This is my thoughts on this, my theory on this. What we see on social media, what we see on YouTube, it is the most, probably some of the most rabid fans, some of the most loyal fans. I consider myself a big fan of Xbox. I've been with Xbox since the OG. I play everything, but I've had an Xbox all the way through since they started. But what we see about the outrage and people questioning, oh, is this game going to come to PlayStation? The average consumer on Xbox right now, if the game shows up on Xbox, the game shows up in Game Pass, they don't care. And they're not questioning if the game is coming to PlayStation. They couldn't care less. In fact, a lot of them would probably be happy if it came to PlayStation because they probably have friends on PlayStation that they could play with. The questioning of am I going to be questioning if every game's coming to Game Pass or to PlayStation? That's more reserved, I think, for like the more hardcore Xbox fans than the average consumer. And the reality is, the average consumer is the ones bringing in majority of the money to the platform. It's not all just hardcore Xbox fans. That's a small niche percentage of people who buy into a platform. It's like the people who buy the newest technology, right? They buy it day one. That's a small niche amount of people. It's the same thing with the people who are rabid Xbox fans. And Xbox knows that, so they have to balance that though. They can't just forget and ignore them, but they have to balance it in a way that makes kind of everybody happy. So that's definitely a tough thing to do. Definitely a tough thing to do. Anonymous boss, I'm so sure. Sorry, one second. I'm gonna watch this play here. Watching the Super Bowl. Anonymous boss, I'm so sure they just put the games like, oh, we are putting Halo, Gears, Indiana Jones, and leaked it in a way so people go crazy just so we all accept Microsoft is putting smaller games on PS5. That could be a thing, man. I mean, I'm with you on that. That could be a thing. And if that is the case, we'll see how it plays out. But it's not like it's not the worst. That's not the worst strategy in the world. Brandon Lincoln, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. We're having a good night. What do we got in here now? 131. Hit the like button, everyone. The Super Bowl is going to overtime. Yeah, Rach. Yeah, of course. I mean, that always happens. Whenever an Xbox game comes out, that's good. The same thing happens on the other side. That's just kind of the console war things. Microsoft are geniuses. They did not become a $1 trillion company overnight. They have a plan. We all don't know it. I'm 100% sure the Xbox console is not going anywhere soon. It's not. It's not. Now, I'm not against pushing back and voicing your disapproval of things that Xbox does. I think that's completely, you should do that with any, if you're a consumer of any product. If you don't like something, you have two choices. You voice your disapproval, you stay on the platform, or you stay on the product, or you leave the product or platform. But yeah, I mean, they have, the thing is that we look at this all from an outsider's perspective. They have the numbers, they have the data, they have everything to make these decisions. Now, I guess I understand the decision making from a business perspective and a gamer's perspective, but at the same time, you have to balance that, because if you're always making the decisions of a just the hardcore gamer's perspective, there's a likelihood, especially in this current environment where we're seeing closures and layoffs and games being canceled and development costs increasing, they have to make the decision that is going to let Xbox survive going forward. Like, what would you rather? Just Xbox go away? Or would you rather them make some concessions so that Xbox is here to stay for the long run, right? Now, there's no way it's going away. There's no way the console's going away. It's not happening. It's just, it's not. There's an article that came out that Phil Spencer also had a town hall saying the console isn't going away. I mean, that was a gross overreaction. My part, everyone's part, that was a gross overreaction. Thinking that the console was going to disappear. Imagine if Xbox returned to its basic trinity of Halo, Gears, and Forza again. It would not be a winning strategy. If this if this generation was Halo, Gears, and Forza Xbox, I would be very I wouldn't be very optimistic about Xbox next generation. I don't know if there would be an Xbox. They would have stuck with what they did during the Xbox One gen. They definitely have to tell us the plans clearly. That's the whole thing. I hope is going to be. I hope it's not just PR speak. I hope it's not. We've seen both from Xbox. We've seen Phil Spencer be candid on the kind of funny interview, and we've also seen the same stuff over and over again from corpo speak and stuff that they like to give. Oh. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting week. Did you know that the um We do know that a lot of the rumors have been walked back, or at least the Starfield rumors have been walked back. But they're also now the new rumor right now is there is Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and one other big game, right? One other big game. What could that big game be? I feel like any other game on top of Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush could be a big game. It's just a way to get. It's the way for people to be able to come out on the other side of this and say, hey, look, I wasn't just fanning flames. I knew what I was talking about. Let's throw 10 games at the wall. And one of them will be in the announcement. But hey, look, I'm credible. I'm not just fanning the flames, right? That's what it looks like to me. I'm sure people have insiders. I'm sure people get information from people at Xbox, but how good? It's not just about knowing somebody at Xbox and getting information from them and then reporting it out, right? You're getting information. You have to be sure it's good information. And from what we have seen as of Friday, when everyone started walking back, is that if they are telling the truth about walking, like if they are being honest about walking it back, the information they received was not good information and should not have been reported. That's the issue for a lot of this right now. But again, we don't know. We don't know if it's bad. We don't. That's just the thing. And I always say that because I don't want anybody walking away from here and thinking like, oh, well, this is what's going to happen this week. We have no idea. Imagine on next Xbox, Phil Spencer comes out with the same OG Xbox, but a little reimagined, and tells everyone we have gone back to our roots. Launch titles are Halo, Reach 2, and Gear 6. It will sell well amongst a small group of hardcore Xbox fans. And they will lose tons of money and instantly have to close Xbox if they did that. I'm not going to lie. That'd be super cool. It'd be super cool. They want to cater to just a niche market. Sure, but Xbox will not be around if that's what they're going to do. And I say this with the same thing that I've said. I mean, I can't even remember how many years back I've said that. Not that it matters, but I still believe what I think on this, which is PlayStation is doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing right now. We just don't recognize it as the same thing. They are putting their games on other platforms. They are essentially multi-platform, not as multi-platform as Xbox, but they are multi-platform, and they are preparing themselves to go even more multi-platform as the years go on. You can see it you can even just go look at their numbers, their profit margins, and the cost it is to create games like Spider-Man. $300 million. How are they going to make that back by locking it to the PlayStation 5 and then only having a small, like a 15-20% attachment rate to that's like the one their highest, right? Not all the first party games even have that attachment rate. So, they're going that direction. More games, I think, will be coming to PC day and date, and who knows where else. Like, they're trying to expand out into the cloud more. I mean, I know they got their PS Plus tiers, and I know they had PS Now way back, but they never really expanded it out very well. And they're going to go more into mobile. Why do you think Xbox is trying to go more into mobile? Because they see that as where the highest growth rate is in gaming. That's why they're trying to build out their own store. That's why they bought Activision Blizzard. That's the truth. I mean, they weren't lying about that when they said they bought ABK because of mobile. So it's finding new avenues to grow your business because of the rising costs to develop these games. The other thing that could happen, and I would be okay with this, I would be absolutely okay if this happened, if Xbox and PlayStation, they started making less of these huge AAA, like insanely expensive games. You have a smaller titles. Like, I just finished Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and to me, that is a Game of the Year candidate. It is one of the best games that I say a Game of the Year candidate because it's one of the best games I've played this generation for me. It was phenomenal. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I would absolutely love to see more games like that out of Xbox. I'd love to see more games like that out of PlayStation. But what did we see with that game from the numbers? It did not sell very well. It sold 300K or something like that. Whereas like Assassin's Creed Mirage sold million some, and Avatar sold 1 million some. So that's the thing, right? They're realizing that the games industry, these developers have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because they've created an industry now that is very mainstream. Let's be honest, like during the Super Nintendo days, right? Gaming was not mainstream. And now what people want more than anything, which is kind of crazy to me, because it's like, do you truly I don't mind my cinematic narrative games, but a lot of people really want more than anything are those linear cinematic narrative driven games with like 10 hours of cutscenes. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean, right? With like not very much gameplay, tons of cutscenes, almost like a movie. People want that. A lot of people want, and those are expensive to make. Those are far more expensive to make than a Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So it's unfortunate for the industry has kind of shot themselves in the foot of creating some of those expectations and making that one of the most valued games. Like, how many times do those types of games win Game of the Year and stuff, right? So we'll see what changes. Maybe the change in the gaming industry is going to be going back to smaller games, reducing the output on a yearly basis from some of these publishers, and just improving that ROI. But I mean, if that means giving us more Prince of Persia's Lost Crown, I'm all for it. It's true, but Spider-Man 2 sold a lot. They probably already got the money back because it sold millions and sold a lot of consoles together with the game. Smart strategy, though. Yeah, I'm sure. No, they've made their money back, I believe, with Spider-Man 2. But what I'm saying is, how sustainable is that for every single one of their games going forward? If the development cost of Spider-Man 2 is already over 300 million, I believe that's what it said in the Insomniac leaks. Now, is that 100% true? Not sure. But if it's a 300 million now, what is it going to be in 5 years from now? Right? So if the development costs keep raising, they're going to have to continuously sell more and more. And historically, the attachment rate of their first party games is not increased at the same rate as the increase in the cost to develop those games. So how is that a sustainable thing? That's the question, right? Brandon, my thoughts on what? You just keep tagging me and saying, so I don't know what you're asking me. Live service cinematic movie games incoming. That could be the next evolution. But why do you think why do you think there's so much games as a service push now? It's because it makes money. It makes money. I don't think games, there's all this chat about like there's too many games as a service and people don't want to play. I mean, Helldivers 2 just came out and it sold, like they're saying, about 1 million copies already. So games as a service is not going right. It just has to be done right. It just has to be done right. Hey Brandon, I can't if you could just like rewrite it and tag me in it so I see it. I can't find it. Is there a chance we'll know anything by tomorrow? I have, Byron, no idea. I'm not gonna pretend like I have any idea. No idea. They didn't say a date. So I expect any day this week. Or expect Phil to come out and say, just kidding. We'll talk next week. I have no idea. Development cost is big. That's why AI will be used to help games out. I mean, maybe. I think that's definitely going to help. I definitely think that's going to help. That's obviously going to have the negative effect of like some people losing their jobs. But I think overall AI is going to have a pretty positive effect on the gaming industry in terms of the games themselves and the development and the immersion of the games. Okay, I'll give you my insider knowledge. The Phil Spencer is going to come out. He's going to be coming out Tuesday night. No, sorry. I'll give you I take that back. That was bad info. Phil Spencer is going to be featured on my Wednesday morning show, 8 a.m., where he's going to be making the announcement for all Xbox fans to know the future of Xbox. Maybe I should tweet that out. You know what I should know? What I actually should do is I should say I think Phil Spencer is going to talk Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and then when he talks on one of those dates, I can say, "Look how reliable of an insider I am." Should be surprised by my gamers. What's your gamer score, KM Perkins? Fortunately for me, I've had like multiple gamer tags. I wish I had my gamer tag from the 360 when I first created it. Bill's announcing it straight from Plume Network. You got it, Demendra. Got it. I don't think Phil or anyone on Xbox knows who Plume Network is. I find it horrendous that BG3 won Game of the Year, although Hogwarts Legacy is highest selling and fastest selling game in the history period. They are sitting beyond $1 billion in revenue yet. Well, I don't know about Hogwarts winning Game of the Year. Like, that's just such a subjective thing. But I find it horrendous that Hogwarts didn't get a single nomination or even talked about at the Game Awards. I think that's like absurd, and we all know why. We all know why people just didn't want to go near it for their reasons. But it was one of the best games in 2023. I loved Hogwarts Legacy, so it was absurd. It should have won something, or been not even won. It should have been at least nominated for something. But you know what? They don't care. You know why they don't care? Because, like you said, they're sitting in $1 billion in revenue, so they're just kind of flexing on the games industry and all the naysayers with the $1 billion in revenue they've made from that game. So no award's going to matter when you're making that much money off of the game. And they deserve it. It's a phenomenal game. It's a phenomenal game. Will I go crazy if the next Xbox comes out with a limited edition Halo Reach 2 launch title and console for $650, but very good hardware? Yeah, I'll buy it. I've already said I'm buying the next Xbox. I'll probably buy both. I'll probably buy the hybrid and I'll probably buy the console itself. I'm one thing I'm disappointed with the Xbox this gen is not enough special edition consoles, because the Halo Infinite Series X that I have is so nice. They could have done so many things. I hope they at least do like they could have done a Starfield one for sure rather than the wrap. But they're probably, you know what they do, right? They look at the costs and all this stuff. I hope they at least make a like an Elder Scrolls one. You know how amazing a limited edition Avowed console would be with that artwork on it? That would be the most beautiful console ever created. They should definitely do it. That would have been the coolest thing to do that. Even if it was a Series S with that, I would buy it. I mean, I have both. In fact, when I say I play on console, I'm not lying, because like when I'm not lying at all. When I say Xbox is my main console, I have a Series S where I do my work, and I probably play my Series S more than I play my Xbox Series X. I think the Series S is great. I mean, I know people love to count pixels and do the FPS and stuff, but like, I'll take like, there are a lot of great games that run great on the Xbox Series S. Yeah, it sure has a lower resolution and stuff, but they still run and feel great. So I like my Series S. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. Come on. Huge miss on Diablo 4 Series X bundle. Didn't they do a Diablo? Didn't they do? Oh, you mean for a limited edition console? Yeah, for sure. They just packed in the regular X. Yeah, that would have been super cool too. I don't know why they don't do more of that. AliExpress stickers. I feel like that's going to corrode my Xbox if I put an AliExpress sticker on it. It's just going to burn the paint off and somehow go through and burn the GPU. I don't trust it. Halo Reach 2 limited edition console would sell out so fast. Yeah, it would sell fast for sure. Microsoft can get so much money with that, even if I would pay the premium for the new console and game. I would love a Halo Reach too. Halo Reach was, I feel like Halo Reach is the most underrated Xbox or Halo title in the franchise. It got like not great reviews. I remember when it came out, a lot of people were kind of didn't like it as much. But if I remember that correctly, or was that ODST that a lot of people did not like? Halo Reach was phenomenal though. I loved the multiplayer and the campaign was really, really good. Twenty-two, 19, Niners, OT. KC has a chance to tie it or win it here. Have I played ODST? Yeah, I've played every Halo. I liked ODST as well. I know it was different with like the investigations and stuff, but I liked it. Yeah, people love. Okay, so I was mixing that up with ODST. I think it was ODST that the one that people was the one that had like a mixed reaction to it. But Reach was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Reach may be my, well, it's maybe up there as my favorite campaign. It was really good. One of my favorite campaigns, at least one of them. My favorite Halo of all time has to be Halo 3. Just the campaign was great, but it was mainly like the multiplayer aspect of it. I played that thing like every day. But yeah, it's got to be Halo 3. I think Halo 3 is a pretty popular one as people's favorites. ODST was your favorite Halo. Interesting. There really isn't a bad Halo game. I would say the worst campaign was Halo 5. Mainly because they promised something in the marketing that seemed vastly different than what actually got delivered. Like they made it seem like you were really playing as Master Chief almost like the entire time. You were going on a hunt. You were like like they just didn't see. Then the game came out, right? You play as Locke for so much of it, and honestly, like I agree. Like Locke is not a great character. He's pretty bland. I could see them expanding Locke out and doing more with the character and making it better, but the campaign wasn't great. But with that being said, I've had fun with the Halo 5 multiplayer. The gameplay in Halo 5 was really good. There's a lot of stuff they did right with Halo 5, but I think that was probably the worst one out of in the series. Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite is like way better than Halo 5. It's way better. The single player and the multiplayer. Yeah, Halo 5, yeah, I like Halo 5 multiplayer was fun, but I still think like right now at least the multiplayer is like really good in Halo Infinite. But from just like a gameplay perspective, Halo Infinite is solid. So it's like when we hear about Halo Infinite's potentially like when they come out, they're taking out seasons and they're going with just operations. To me, it signals that they're winding down Halo Infinite. I hope whatever they do with the next Halo, they take the Halo Infinite gameplay and they don't really like change too much about it. They add to it, make it slightly better here and there, but the gameplay is very solid. And I hope that doesn't go away with the next Halo. Because you know how these companies work, right? They just essentially they're looking at the numbers. And I'm sure Halo Infinite is not where they want it to be. I hope that doesn't like instill some fear and then they go and make these drastic changes and stuff, because I think they have an exceptional base and core for Halo Infinite that if they can just whatever they do next for Halo, if they can release tons of content right off the bat, it's gonna be killer. Do you think they'll expand Game Pass Core to other consoles, allowing them to play certain exclusives at a later date? I don't think Xbox expanding Game Pass Core is up to Xbox. I think that is up to PlayStation and Nintendo. And I don't think that will happen, no, because it doesn't really make any sense from unless Xbox is paying PlayStation and Nintendo a bag that they literally can't refuse. I don't think it makes any sense because if you're on PlayStation or you're on the Nintendo Switch and every time you log into that console, you're going into Game Pass, you're essentially a useless customer to Nintendo and PlayStation. Like if you buy a PS5 and you buy a Nintendo Switch and you're not making purchases in their store and you're not spending hours on PlayStation games, you're not taking part in microtransactions, you're a useless customer to them. Just buying a PlayStation means nothing to PlayStation. You buy a PlayStation, like I'm a useless PlayStation customer in 2023 I was because I barely played it. Just because I have the console, big deal. They probably lost money on the console that I purchased, right? So I'm a useless thumb. It's all about the amount of time and money and energy and spent within their ecosystem, within their store. So I can't foresee them ever sacrificing any of that by putting Game Pass on their consoles. I just don't ever see that happening. Like Xbox has already said, we'll do it. It's up to them. It just doesn't make any sense unless there's a huge bag that they receive. So what about Ubisoft Plus and EA Play? Yeah, it's a good point. But when you use Ubisoft Plus and EA Play on console, you're downloading the Xbox version of those games, right, or the PlayStation version of those games. So you're essentially staying within that ecosystem. I don't know how they would do it with Game Pass, right? I guess. I mean, that's a good point. Actually, that's actually a good point, Kevin. Maybe they just do it the same, where they just put all of the Xbox content onto their stores, and then they give them a percentage. So I guess they could potentially do that. Yeah, you're right. You're right on that. I'm thinking about Game Pass on. I'm thinking about Game Pass like when you on your phone with an Android, right? Like when you open the Game Pass app, you're in the app and then you're just in the Xbox ecosystem on your phone, which is what Apple has tried to wants or has stopped, which is why Apple didn't let the Game Pass app on there because again, if you go to iOS, you download the Xbox Game Pass app and then you just play Game Pass games through that app, you're not spending more money in the Apple ecosystem. You're doing it all through the Xbox ecosystem, and they don't want that, obviously, because they want to make as much money as possible. $3 minutes to find a match in Film Stars? I have not tried it. I have not tried it. I don't know how you say your name, Mixin Fink. I want to see all games be multi-platform. For me, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a win-win for both. I think this is the thing. When you get out of social media, you get out of YouTube, and you just talk to the majority of people out there who have an Xbox or a PlayStation, they probably think the same way. I think there is, though, a struggle that Xbox is facing that with convincing somebody on PlayStation to buy an Xbox or to get into the Xbox ecosystem. Like some of my friends were messaging me, and when all the rumors were coming out, they were like, hey, I didn't know Xbox was ending the console. I didn't know that Xbox was putting all of their games on PlayStation. Like this is when I talk about the brand damage that this week potentially could have on Xbox. I don't think it's going to have a huge effect on the people that are already invested, that follow Xbox, that are hardcore Xbox fans, although they're the most vocal. I don't think most of them are going anywhere, to be completely honest. I think they just reacted, which is, I totally get it, but I don't think they're actually going anywhere. And where this brand damage is going to have an effect is for the person who does not follow the news every day, but sees the headlines. So they were asking me, I told them it was just all rumors. And then they were like really excited though about the potential of Xbox games coming to PlayStation and the potential of Game Pass coming to PlayStation. And I'm like, well, you could just buy an Xbox, right? They're like, no, I don't want to buy an Xbox. I just want Game Pass to come to PlayStation. So I think Xbox has definitely a something here that they see that they have trouble getting past, which is convincing somebody on PlayStation, no matter how much they want to play these Xbox games, to actually just buy an Xbox or get into the Xbox ecosystem. And you have to also keep in mind that people may not have a PC that can run a lot of these games, right? And a lot of people don't want to play in the cloud. So it's like convincing some PlayStation guys to go out and buy an Xbox. And it's harder than we probably think. No matter how much they want to play these games, I'm telling you, this happened to me. They were like, I just want Game Pass, but I don't want to buy an Xbox. I don't know why, because you can literally get a Series S. Yeah, Byron, for sure. It's definitely the mixed messaging. Absolutely. That's why, like this week, like I said, they not shutting them down hurt them. But we also don't know. Again, we all make a sub. We don't know what's going on. There's maybe a reason why they couldn't shut them down. Like maybe some FTC stuff. I think Jez tweeted something about that. About it's not as simple as just coming out and shutting them down, because they're still fighting the FTC. The FTC literally just filed a complaint against them about the 1900 layoffs. So like they're still fighting the FTC, and I didn't realize it, but if they're still fighting them, there's still complaints, they're still having to go through the processes with the FTC. I'm sure that plays into a lot of what they can and cannot say. Yeah, Anonymous Boss, that would be huge. I mean, Halo 3 ODST would be a remake of that will be pretty cool. The FTC needs to stop embarrassing themselves for sure. I think Xbox Game Pass is the future of Xbox, and they want it to have the same impact Netflix and Prime has. Phil said they are not concerned if you don't buy console. Yeah, they've said that. He has said that multiple times. He has said that multiple times. Nothing is easy about running a company, much less one that large. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I did take a poll on my channel as to what people thought was going to happen. And most people think they're going to be announcing some games going multi-platform, and I think that's probably a safe bet. That's probably a safe bet. Let me see. Let me go to my channel here. I said, what will Xbox announce? What will the Xbox announcement next week be? 65% Xbox will make select games multi-platform. 18% Xbox will be making changes to Game Pass. 9% Phil will tell you it's all a joke, and 8% Xbox will announce new hardware. 1.5K voted on that. So I think, yeah, I think most people are going to be correct here. Should you like the Xbox One S generations versus the Xbox Series X and S exclusive? I don't know what that means. Do I think putting games as exclusive are stupid? I think ecosystem exclusives are important. I think ecosystem, to sell the ecosystem, get people into the ecosystem, are important. But at the same time, you can differentiate that ecosystem as well by doing things like day one onto Game Pass, where it would be $70 everywhere else. People will subscribe and choose that subscription choice over paying the full price for the game. How many people though are going to leave Game Pass if, let's say, Starfield goes to PlayStation 5, right? Probably not that many if they're enjoying the service itself. If they know you can get, if you know you can get the game day one, people aren't just going to leave Game Pass because you have to pay full price for that game on PlayStation. It just doesn't make any sense. Hey, Perkins, I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, the Chiefs won in overtime. Rigged. Rigged. Well, we know they had to make huge changes with ABK, right? We know they had to make huge changes and adjustments for that. I mean, do people forget that they literally had to give the streaming rights to Ubisoft, distribute where ABK games stream? I believe in the EU. I think they said it was for everywhere, right? I forget exactly what it was, if they just gave it to them for the whole world, but it was specifically for, or sorry, specifically for the CMA adjustments. Patrick Mahomes needs to hold up an Xbox controller. um, yeah, it must be tough to be a Niners fans. That's three. That's three, right? They lost to. They lost to the Ravens, and they lost to the Chiefs, and they lost to the Chiefs again. Right? Must be tough if you're a Niners fan. 0-3 the last few years. You think Sony was jealous of Microsoft because they bought ABK first? I don't think Sony could afford ABK, so no, I don't think they're. I think they were just trying to stop it, do whatever they could to stop it. Of course. I don't think they could afford ABK. $70 billion in cash just to spend like that. Kansas City Swifts are champs again. God, it's gonna be unbearable. It is going to be not that I actually care because I don't really care or like either team, to be honest. All right, guys, I'm gonna probably wrap up here in about 5 minutes or in anytime soon. I see the Super Bowl's over and the viewers, people are jumping in now, but I gotta finish editing my video for tomorrow morning. Make sure to look out for that. Talking about a bunch of stuff as I do usually. But it should be an interesting week. Like we don't know when Xbox is going to talk. I see a lot of people thinking it is tomorrow. We don't know that it is tomorrow. Could be Tuesday. Could be Wednesday. I'm going to predict it's going to be either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So if he does come out and talk on between Monday and Friday, you guys can confirm that I am a insider and that I'm a reliable leaker. He will be coming out Monday to Friday to speak. But other than that, it should be an interesting week. I don't think it's going to be as bad as some people have made it out to be this week. Again, we talked about how crazy the rumors were this week and stuff. But yeah, should be fun. Everyone have a good week, and we'll see you next week at 9 p.m. Sunday night, and also during my videos Monday to Friday throughout the week at 8 a.m. But everyone have a good night, and yeah, talk to you later.